You know that carton of eggs in your fridge? The one you grab for a speedy, protein-packed meal? Well, it could be a bit of a health gamble. Sounds a tad over the top, I know. But some simple, everyday slip-ups in how we store, cook, and even what we eat with. Our eggs can quietly mess with our health. They can turn a super nutritious food into something that might make you sick or contribute to long-term issues. You probably think you're an egg expert, but are you really sure you're not making one of these 5 common mistakes? Stick around, because what you're about to find out could change how you see eggs for good. Eggs, they're a kitchen staple pretty much everywhere. Praised for their awesome protein, essential vitamins, and the fact you can do a million things with them. From a super fast breakfast to being a key player in fancy baked goodies, eggs are, no doubt, a handy and often healthy choice. So many of us count on them to be a big part of a good diet. But relying on them so much can make us a bit too casual, and it's in those little things we don't think about, how we eat, store, and cook them, that some serious health risks can be hiding. The journey an egg takes from the farm to your fork has a few spots where things can go sideways. We're not talking about complicated science mistakes here. These are common, everyday habits lots of us have, often without even thinking twice. The worrying bit is that these little errors can lead to all sorts of health troubles. Some are quick and nasty, like food poisoning that can leave you feeling awful for days. Others are sneakier, like causing more inflammation or breaking down nutrients, which can mess with your health down the line. In this video, we're going to crack open the truth about 5 really common egg mistakes. We'll get into why these seemingly small errors are actually a bigger deal than you might think. Look at the health problems they could cause based on research and food safety advice, and most importantly, give you the know-how to fix them. Once you understand these traps, you can keep enjoying all the great things about eggs without accidentally hurting your health. Let's get started and make sure your favorite protein is really helping you, not harming you. Section 1, improper egg storage, the cold hard truth. First up, and it's a mistake that happens more than you'd think, is storing eggs the wrong way. It sounds basic, right? But where and how you keep your eggs in the fridge can seriously impact their safety and how good they are. The biggest thing here is temperature. Eggs need to be kept consistently at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4.4 degrees Celsius or cooler. Why is that so important? Well, room temperature, or even a fridge that's up and down in temp, can be a party for bacteria, especially salmonella. Even fresh eggs with clean, uncracked shells can sometimes have this bacteria. If you leave eggs out at room temperature for more than 2 hours, the risk of those bacteria multiplying to dangerous levels shoots way up, and that can lead to food poisoning. Symptoms of a salmonella infection? Think diarrhea, fever, stomach cramps, and vomiting, usually showing up 12 to 72 hours after you've eaten the bad egg and lasting for about 4 to 7 days. For people like young kids, older adults, pregnant women, and anyone with a weaker immune system, a salmonella infection can be much more serious, sometimes meaning a hospital trip or even life-threatening problems. Recent outbreaks, like one in early 2025 linked to eggs from a particular company that made 79 people sick across 7 states, really highlight how real the danger of salmonella is. Another part of bad storage is tossing the original carton. Lots of fridges have those built-in egg holders on the door, and yeah, they seem handy, but they're actually a terrible spot for eggs. The fridge door is the warmest part of the fridge, and the temperature there swings around every time you open it. Not good for your eggs. The carton your eggs come in is actually designed to protect them. It stops them from soaking up strong smells and tastes from other foods in your fridge through their thousands of tiny shell pores. Plus, it has the best before, or expiration date clearly printed on it, which is pretty important info you lose if you ditch the carton. Keeping eggs in their carton on an inside shelf, ideally in the coldest part of your fridge, is the way to go to keep them consistently cool and safe. Lastly, and this is a big one, never ever use eggs that are past their expiration date or have cracked or dirty shells. Even tiny cracks are an open door for bacteria. A bit of dirt might look harmless, but it can also carry bacteria. Always give your eggs a once-over before you buy them and before you use them. If an egg looks or smells weird, just throw it out. It's just not worth taking the chance. Sticking to these storage tips is your best defense for making sure the eggs you eat are safe. Section 2. Cooking temperature catastrophes: too little or too much. Our second common mistake is all about cooking temperature. Specifically, the problems that come with both undercooking and overcooking your eggs. Hitting that sweet spot is crucial, not just for safety, but also to keep all their good nutrition intact. Let's talk about undercooking first. Eating raw or undercooked eggs, where the yolk is runny or the white is still a bit clear, like in sunny-side-up eggs, soft-boiled eggs, or homemade Caesar dressing and hollandaise sauce made with raw eggs, really bumps up your risk of getting a salmonella infection. The CDC has estimated that about 1 in every 20,000 eggs might be contaminated with salmonella. That might not sound like a lot, but if you eat undercooked eggs often, your chances of getting a contaminated one go up over time. Health experts strongly suggest cooking eggs until both the yolk and white are firm to kill any nasty bacteria. This is super important for anyone in a high-risk group. Food safety guidelines often say to cook eggs to an internal temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Celsius, to make sure they're safe. If you love dishes that use raw eggs, think about using pasteurized eggs. They've been heat-treated to get rid of salmonella. Now, on the other side of the coin, overcooking eggs, especially at super high heat or for too long, can also be bad for your health, just in a different way. When eggs get overcooked, especially the yolk, the cholesterol in them can go through something called oxidation. This creates compounds called oxysterols. Some research hints that these oxysterols might be harmful, possibly adding to inflammation and raising your risk of heart disease by helping plaque build up in your arteries. You've probably seen an overcooked hard-boiled egg with that grayish-green ring around the yolk. That's your visual clue that some of these chemical changes have happened. Frying eggs until they're super crispy and brown around the edges can also cause this oxidation. Plus, overcooking can strip eggs of some of their nutritional goodness. Too much heat for too long can break down some of the good vitamins and antioxidants in eggs. For example, studies have shown that cooking can lower the vitamin A content by about 17 to 20%. While cooking eggs does make some nutrients, like protein, easier to digest, the idea is to cook them enough to be safe without wrecking their delicate nutrient balance. Gentler cooking methods like poaching or boiling until they're just firm, or scrambling over medium heat until they're set but not dry, are usually better choices than really aggressive, high-heat frying or boiling them for ages. Section 3. The frying fat fiasco: choosing unhealthy cooking oils. The third mistake lots of folks make is about the type of fat they use when cooking eggs, especially when frying them. The oil you pick can really change the healthiness of your meal, potentially turning a nutritious egg into something that promotes inflammation. It's pretty common to fry eggs in refined seed oils like soybean, corn, canola, cottonseed, or sunflower oil. These oils are often packed with polyunsaturated omega-6 fatty acids. Now, we do need omega-6 fats in small amounts, but many modern diets have way too much of them compared to omega-3s. Some research suggests that eating a lot of omega-6s, especially from these processed seed oils, and particularly when they're heated over and over, might encourage inflammation in the body. And chronic inflammation is a known cause of many serious health problems, including heart disease, arthritis, and other metabolic issues. When these oils get heated to high temperatures for frying, they can also oxidize and create potentially harmful compounds, sometimes even trans fats if the oils are partially hydrogenated. Though these are less common now thanks to regulations, oxidation products are still a worry. The whole story on seed oils and health is still being debated by researchers. Some studies suggest that if you eat them as part of a balanced diet and don't repeatedly heat them super high, they might not be as bad as we once thought. Or maybe the bigger issue is the ultra-processed foods they're often found in. But for cooking at home, especially frying, choosing more stable fats is generally seen as a healthier move. So, what are the better options? Healthier fats for cooking eggs include things like butter, grass-fed is even better for nutrients, ghee, which is clarified butter, olive oil, extra virgin is good for lower heat, light olive oil for higher heat, though its smoke point is lower than some other fats, coconut oil, avocado oil, or even animal fats like beef tallow or bacon grease if used sparingly. These fats are generally more stable at higher temperatures and are less likely to create nasty byproducts. Butter and animal fats do have saturated fat, so don't go overboard, especially if you have certain health conditions. But they're often preferred over highly processed vegetable oils for cooking. Avocado oil and light olive oil are great plant-based choices with higher smoke points, perfect for frying. Beyond just the type of oil, try not to reuse oil multiple times for frying. This degrades the oil and leads to more harmful compounds forming. Always start with fresh oil and make sure your pans and utensils are clean to avoid cross-contamination and stop the cooking fat from breaking down even further. Just switching your cooking fat can make a big difference to how healthy your morning scramble or fried egg really is. Section 4. The problematic pairings. What you eat with your eggs matters. Mistake number 4 isn't just about the eggs themselves, but what you're eating with them. Eggs are often the star of the meal, but the sidekicks can either boost their nutritional power or take away from it, sometimes leading to not-so-great health outcomes. One of the most common unhealthy combos is serving eggs with processed meats. Think about that classic breakfast: eggs with bacon, sausage, or ham. While it might taste great to many, regularly eating processed meats has been consistently linked to a higher risk of several chronic diseases, like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers. These meats are usually loaded with sodium, preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, which can turn into nitrosamines, which could be carcinogens, and unhealthy saturated fats. Even if your eggs are cooked perfectly healthily, if you often pair them with these processed meats, you could be undoing a lot of their benefits and just making your overall diet less healthy. Research mentioned by the Mayo Clinic suggests that foods typically eaten with eggs, like bacon and sausage, might actually do more to increase heart disease risk than eggs on their own. A 2019 study also pointed out that many people in studies who ate a lot of eggs also ate a lot of processed meats, making it tricky to figure out the effects of just the eggs. Swapping out processed meats for healthier protein options or plant-based sides would be a big step toward a better meal. Another issue can be a lack of nutritional balance when eggs are the main event. If you're often eating eggs as your only protein and not getting enough fiber-rich foods, you might be missing out on important digestive benefits and a wider range of nutrients. Fiber is super important for a healthy gut, keeping blood sugar steady and feeling full. Pairing eggs with lots of veggies like spinach, mushrooms, peppers, or tomatoes in an omelet, or with a side of avocado or a fresh salad, is a fantastic way to get more fiber and add a ton of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to your meal. Whole grains like a slice of whole wheat toast or some quinoa can also give you good fiber and complex carbs for energy that lasts. A 2016 study looking at dietary habits found that health-conscious egg eaters who also ate little red or processed meat had much higher intakes of folate. This just shows that what you eat around your eggs really matters. So, by thinking about what you serve alongside your eggs, you can create a meal that's not just tasty, but also works together to be extra healthy. This way, you get the most out of the egg's nutritional goodness while cutting down on the downsides from less healthy additions. Go for whole, unprocessed foods to go with your eggs, and your body will definitely appreciate it. Section 5. Ignoring individual needs and the perils of overconsumption. The fifth common mistake is not thinking about your own specific health needs and the possible downsides of eating too many eggs. While eggs are packed with nutrients, more isn't always better, and what's best can really differ from one person to another. For ages, eggs, especially the yolks, got a bad rap because they're high in cholesterol. One large egg has about 186 milligrams of it, all in the yolk. But what we understand now is that for most healthy folks, the cholesterol you eat doesn't affect your blood cholesterol levels as much as we used to think. Many health organizations now say that most healthy people can eat up to 7 eggs a week without raising their risk of heart disease. Some studies even hint that this amount might help protect against certain kinds of stroke and an eye condition called macular degeneration. The American Heart Association even suggests that older people with healthy cholesterol can have up to 2 eggs a day because they're so nutritious. A 2025 study from Monash University found that eating 1 to 6 eggs a week was linked to a lower risk of dying from any cause and from cardiovascular disease in relatively healthy older adults. But, and this is really important, this doesn't mean everyone should eat eggs without limit. If you have certain existing health conditions, especially diagnosed high LDL, that's the bad cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, or if you're at high risk for heart failure, it's often recommended to be more careful with egg yolks. Some research has suggested a connection between eating more eggs and a higher risk of heart disease in people with diabetes, though other studies haven't found this link, so more research is still needed. If this sounds like you, it's a good idea to chat with your doctor or a registered dietitian about how many eggs are right for your specific situation. Current dietary guidelines often suggest keeping dietary cholesterol as low as possible without compromising the nutritional adequacy of the diet. Also, eating the same thing all the time, even if it's a healthy food like eggs, isn't the best idea. Relying too much on any one food can mean you're not getting a balanced mix of nutrients. Changing up your protein sources and how you prepare them is key for a well-rounded diet. If you have eggs every single day cooked the exact same way, you could be missing out on the unique benefits of other foods. Try boiling them one day, scrambling them with veggies another, maybe poaching them. This can offer slight changes in nutrients and keep your meals from getting boring. More importantly, make sure eggs are just one part of a varied diet that includes plenty of fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. At the end of the day, the right number of eggs is personal. Pay attention to your body, think about your overall diet and your individual health, and aim for moderation and variety. Eggs can be a fantastic part of a healthy diet, but just like any food, it's best to eat them thoughtfully and as part of the bigger picture of what you eat. So, How many of these mistakes have you been making without realizing it? We genuinely love to hear from you in the comments below. Sharing your own experiences and what you've learned can really help others in our community make healthier choices too. If you found this information helpful and you're keen to learn more about boosting your nutrition and sidestepping common health traps, please give this video a thumbs up. It seriously helps our channel get seen by more people. And super important, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way, you won't miss out on our future videos, which will be packed with practical health and wellness advice. We're here to help you make sense of the often confusing world of healthy eating with clear, solid information. Eggs are truly a nutritional powerhouse. They're loaded with top-quality protein, essential vitamins like D and B12, choline for a healthy brain, and antioxidants. But as we've talked about today, you only get all their amazing benefits if they're handled, cooked, and eaten the right way. The 5 common slip-ups we covered, storing them wrong, using incorrect cooking temperatures, choosing unhealthy cooking fats, problematic food pairings, and not considering your own needs or just eating too many, can unfortunately turn this superfood into something that could cause health issues. The great news? All these mistakes are totally avoidable by making a few simple tweaks, like storing eggs in their carton in the main part of the fridge, cooking them until the yolk and white are firm but not overdone, picking healthier cooking fats like olive or avocado oil, pairing them with fiber-rich veggies instead of processed meats, and just being mindful of your own health and dietary variety. You can safely and happily include eggs in a diet that truly supports your health. Remember, knowing this stuff is your superpower, especially when it comes to your health. Being aware of these common mistakes lets you make smarter choices every day. It's not about being scared of food. It's about understanding how to make food work for your body. Eggs can and absolutely should be a delicious and beneficial part of your meals. By dodging these common errors, you'll make sure every egg you crack is doing good things for your well-being, not quietly undermining it. Thanks for watching, and here's to healthier eating.